All right, we're back. Time for Thursday fitness. All right, so guys, we Pacifica members, we just sent out an email. We are changing our Zoom class schedule, so we now offer Zoom classes Monday through Friday, 8:30 in the morning, noon, 5:30 p.m. So 3 classes a day, based on the feedback that we got from you guys. So yeah, tune in for those classes. And then Saturdays, we offer 1 class at 8:30 in the morning. So for tomorrow's programming, for the warm-up, you got 5 rounds. You're gonna do 5 windmills on each side. You're gonna do 5 lower and then 5 upper Supermans, followed by a 10-second hold. And then you're gonna do a 10 to 15-second handstand hold. So what a windmill is. Basically what we're looking for, so you're gonna take your feet, you're gonna stagger. So the arm that I'm doing, so I'm gonna do my right arm first. My right toe is gonna be turned out slightly. Basically what I'm looking to do is I'm gonna start with my shoulder externally rotated and stacked. So if you think about it, if I was gonna press a kettlebell overhead and finish in a good locked out position, that's where I'm gonna start. From there, I'm gonna keep my legs straight. I'm gonna hinge my hip back like I was doing a deadlift. And you'll notice as I start to dip my chest forward, my shoulder naturally starts to rotate as I hinge. Allow that to happen, and then as I stand up, that rotation is going to go back away as I come back into a pressing position. So it's a good way to get basically full range of motion out of the shoulder. You can definitely do it with a light weight. I'm talking like a 5-pound plate or like a full water bottle would even be enough. Like it doesn't have to be anything heavy, but a little bit of weight is a great way to do this. And actually, come on over this way. I want to show you guys with my hand in the air. I apologize for our back room, but it's our storage room. So, so just so you guys can see like what the full range should look like. So again, when I'm up overhead, I'm externally rotated. So here I've got external rotation, like I just finished a press, toes turned out slightly, and I'm gonna hinge, shoulder turns in, and then stand, shoulder comes back to lockout. Hinge, turns in, back up. And that process should feel relatively natural. Echo, come here. Meaning, as you hinge over, it should feel like your shoulder wants to start internally rotating. It wants to start turning. And again, you just want to let that happen. So you're not trying to force anything one way or another. You're going to do 5 of those on each side. Again, it's a new movement, so feel it out a little bit. And again, try and watch that video of me doing it and see if it can kind of help you make sense a little bit. After that, you've got 5 lower, 5 upper Supermans. So what that's going to be is you're going to go down on the ground. You're going to do 5 lowers first. So my lower half, literally from my hip down, I'm just going to squeeze my butt and bring my feet up. So just perform the lower half of a Superman. Then I'm going to do 5 reps of just the upper half. So squeezing my low back, squeezing my shoulders. Once I'm done with my 5th rep, I'm then going to do a full body Superman hold for a full 10 seconds. So again, 5 lower half only, 5 upper half only, and then a 10-second hold with everything out. After that, you're going to do a 10 to 15-second handstand hold of some variation that's relatively challenging for you. So you can start easy and you can start to get harder. So I would say your first variation should probably be a pike on a bench or a couch. So start in a plank, and then just walk your hands back, send your hips up nice and high, reach that head through, out on the tippy toes. You're going to hold this for 10 to 15 seconds. If you want, you can do that every round. If you're a little bit more confident in the handstand, you can kick up to the wall. You can do a handstand that way. You can wall walk up to the wall, do a handstand that way. Or you are more than welcome to do a freestanding handstand. So if you're relatively confident, that's a great kind of opportunity to get a little bit of skill practice in. One thing to note, whenever you're doing handstands, again, your fingers are the toes of the hands. So if I were to stand up tall and I wanted to balance, I would grip my toes into the ground to help me find balance as I'm standing here. When I'm doing a handstand, it's the exact same thing. I want to find balance through my fingertips, and I want to try and use them to help me find my center. And again, whether you're doing any variation, that should be true. So just something to kind of think about while you're going through that today. And then next, we got 2 different strength components. So we have a Turkish get up. 5 sets of 3 to 5 reps on each arm. That's a great stability exercise. And then after that, we've got 5 sets of 5 tempo single leg deadlifts and 5 single arm presses. I want to talk about the single leg deadlift and the press first because they're relatively simple, and then I'm going to spend some time going through a little progression for the Turkish get-up. So for the tempo single leg deadlifts, again, any odd object will do. So kettlebell, loaded backpack, if you have a barbell, you can use that as well. But the hope is just that you're going to maintain a normal deadlift position. So my entire body, belly's tight, braced, my shoulders are pulled together, and I'm going to hinge, and I'm going to stay balanced, and I'm just going to try and come as far as I can, maintaining this nice flat midline, and then I'm going to come back up. So the goal is not to touch the ground. The goal is just to keep tension in the hamstring and to try and keep the back nice and flat as you hinge forward. When you do that, you're going to try for a 3-second negative. So it's a real slow, controlled 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, and then stand nice and gently. And again, using that tempo with a relatively light weight, you're going to get a lot out of that. You're really going to feel it in your hamstring. So just make sure, last thing for that, again, when you're thinking through this, knee is soft, hips hinge, shoulders stay tight. If you can keep those 3 things kind of level, you're probably going to be in a good spot for your single leg deadlifts. So 5 reps on each leg. After that, you've got 5 single arm presses on each side. There is no tempo for those unless you don't have a challenging enough weight. So if you're using a relatively light weight, you're more than welcome to do a tempo. Same thing, 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, press. And again, for that, same thing. Kettlebell, dumbbell. If you happen to have a barbell, you're more than welcome to do a seated press. So you could sit down on the ground and you could do some seated presses as your strength work there. 5 reps on each arm. What else was I going to say? Oh, yes. If you're doing single arm pressing, so if you had a barbell, you would start your press here every single time. So I'd have the barbell in my hands, I'd be just outside my shoulders, and I would press overhead. When I have a single object, same thing. The press starts here. So make sure that if you're doing dumbbell or kettlebell presses, the elbow's in front the entire time in the bottom, and as I press, that arm can track out to the side a little bit until I lock out, and then it comes back down in front in the bottom. So we don't press from here, and we don't press with the object starting on the shoulder. So just keep those things in mind. So that's your 5 sets there. Single leg deadlift, 5 on each side, single arm press, 5 on each side. Before that though, you've got your Turkish get-ups. So for the Turkish get-up, there's a very specific series of movements that you want to try and go through. So you can do these with a kettlebell or a dumbbell. That's a great option for this. You can also do it with a backpack, a water jug, PVC pipe. Anything's totally fine. But again, there is a very specific way that you go through these. So how it's going to work. You lay down on the ground to start. I go same side, leg and foot or arm. So when I get set up, I'm going to come down to the ground, start laying. This leg is up. This hand is going to lock out. From there, the other arm goes out at 90 degrees. So this is basically my starting position. Once I'm here, there's a very specific order of things that you're going to go through. Step number 1 is you are going to side crunch to your elbow. So I'm going to come to here. Step number 1, side crunch to the elbow. Step number 2 is press to my hand. Step number 3 is glute bridge. So I'm going to bring my hip up nice and high, and what I'm doing is I'm creating space to bring this leg through and plant this knee. Once I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stand to my knee. I'm going to find some balance, and from here, I get to stand up. So I'm going to load this front leg, stand, keeping that object pressed to the sky the whole time. The rep is not done until you get all the way back down. So again, in order to go back down, it's the exact opposite. I'm going to plant this knee. Once I'm here, I'm going to plant this hand so that I come back to this position. I'm then going to squeeze my butt, bring that foot through, and then drop down to my butt, and then controlled elbow, back down to my back. That is one. That is one. Oh, hi. I know, I'm not paying attention to you. Excuse me. So that is one. You guys are going. You you guys are going to do 3 to 5 on each side.
Okay.
So you guys are going to do 3 to 5 reps on each side. And you're going to do that 5 times through total. So for 5 total sets. So when you guys do those, again, the steps that you're looking to do, quick review. Again, rewatch this video. It's very hard. The whole time you want to try and keep your eyes on your hand. So from the ground, the points that you need to think about. Same side, arm and leg. 90 degrees. Step 1, elbow. Step 2, hand. Step 3, squeeze. And knee. Step 4, find my balance. Step 5, come to standing. And then I'm going to repeat those steps all the way back down. I'm going to kneel. I'm going to drop the hand. Squeeze, foot through. And then butt, elbow, ground. So again, that's your Turkish get-up. You can do that with any kind of weight or object that you have. The weirder and more unbalanced the object, the harder it's going to be. So a great option is if you have a med ball. Take a med ball and open palm it so that you're really forced to kind of balance it. You can't hold the object. That's a great way to do it if you don't have a challenging load for you. So that's your Turkish get-up. They are new, they are different, we don't do them that often. So again, be super methodical, perform each step exactly, and then perform it exactly on the way back down. It is not a lay down with a weird object, stand up, and finish. So that's your Turkish get-up. After that, your conditioning today, relatively straightforward. You've got 10 rounds, 10 kettlebell swings, 10 toes to bar. You get 1-to-1 work rest. So the best thing to try and think of here is, best thing to do, grab your iPhone and just lap it. So hit start, and then when you're done your round, hit lap. It'll be really easy to track how long you work for and then match it with how long you rest for. So use that for tracking your workout today. But for the kettlebell swings, again, you can go Russian or you can go all the way overhead. It's up to you guys depending on what weight you have. If the weight's a little light for you, all the way up. If the weight's a little bit heavy, just go to eye level. And then for the toes to bar, you can do toes to bar, knee raises, or you can do V-ups. I would definitely encourage you to take your kettlebell, go outside, find a tree, hang from a tree and do knee raises or straight leg raises. Do some hanging leg raise, again, just for variance. If not, you're going to do V-ups or you're going to do dead bugs. So if you're going to do a V-up, most important thing is that you start from a hollow position the whole time and you return to that hollow position between reps. So I'm not flopping back down to the ground, and if I'm going to do a dead bug, same thing. I'm going to try and return to hollow in between every rep, every single time. So those are your scaling options. If you don't have dead bugs or V-ups, you're more than welcome to also just do sit-ups. So that's a perfectly fine option as well. Once you're done that workout, you've got some mobility. You've got a 2-minute standing forward fold and a 2-minute saddle pose. So for your standing fold, relatively simple. Literally just feet together, hang nice and heavy, relax the arms, relax the head, looking for a stretch in the hamstrings, the low back, a little bit in the upper back as well. After 2 minutes, you're going to do a saddle pose, and again, that's going to be our feet at hip width, knees, ankles stretched to start, and then just a little bit more quad and hip as I start to lean back, as I start to open up a little bit. So that's your training for Thursday, guys. If you have any questions, post in the comments. We'll get back to you. And as always, tag Forged by Zeus, tag Palace.Ithaca, and tag CrossFit Queens. See you guys soon.